The mystery of death has long been tied into folklore across the world, conjuring ideas of ghouls, vampires, zombies, and spirits. But where exactly did these stories come from? And how did the vampire craze that terrorized 17th century New England really start? Join Sophia and I, along with our special guest Cassidy, as we look at how a misunderstanding of science resulted in the belief of the undead, and debrief a special lecture we attended on this topic. So hop into our morbid time machine and let's dig up these spooky secrets.
Welcome inquirers old and new to our grim past. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Maia. Join us as we delve into the weird, random, and all-around strange events that have happened in history.
Together we will spiral down a rabbit hole of time
And venture out towards a better understanding of our world.
from shipwrecks and spooky places to morally questionable people and practices.
Hop into our morbid time machine,
And
let's get into it.
Hi, Maya.
Hi, Sophia.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. Wanted to welcome special guest Cassidy.
Yay!
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here with you all.
I'm excited too. Do you want to give our listeners a little intro to who you are?
Hi, my name is Cassidy. I'm a second year at college. My majors are elementary education and my minors are Strat 1, Strat 2, and SEL, which pretty much just means that I'm going to be a special education teacher when I graduate. My hobbies, I'm a big reader. I really like cooking and I don't really have much free time, so that's all I get to really do. And I met these two lovely ladies through Maya. We work together, and she kind of just drags me places, like this lecture.
Yeah, that's actually really accurate because I think I talked about this in past episode. I had like a historical tour I had to give on our campus, and I was like, hey, Cassidy, you want to come to this? And she was like, sure. And so she came along the entire tour of the campus and listened to me and other people talk about buildings.
It was a campus tour.
Yeah, like we went all around campus.
Literally, she goes, it's just a quick tour of Bartlett, maybe like 15 minutes. And I go, oh, so perfect. I can do that. Like, it's on
Did
my
I?
way. Yes.
Oh, I
That's
lied
what you
then.
told us. That's what you told us. But
Well,
we
that's
were
what
all
I
busy.
thought it was.
Hour.
Because
Hour
I
and a
thought
half.
I thought it was in the beginning, because the schedule kept changing, was that we were going to each be stationed at our buildings because everyone in my class was given a building on campus. And so I thought I was going to be there, and then I would basically just like take groups through and around the building like every 15 minutes, and I was like, you can just come by. But then they're like, LOL, no, there's 8 stations and we're walking everyone around the whole campus, and like you're just going to be in charge of talking for a bit. I was like, oh, okay.
But I was already like committed to it. And so I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go. And then I got there and she was like, oh, hey. So we actually toured the entire campus. And I was like, I'm here.
Well, you got to hear me talk a bunch.
I did.
Well, I helped with the recording of the Bartlett tour, so I got
Yeah.
the Bartlett
See-
tour.
I had to make TikToks of it too.
Yeah,
And
those were
we did
pretty
that.
good.
If you guys want as well, I'm gonna be doing a mockumentary of Bartlett too
Heck yeah.
soon. If you want to be a part of that.
Yes, that would be so fun.
Anyway, we're name dropping the buildings, even though we're like we shouldn't. You never see.
It's fine.
It's so
Anyway,
All right, so this lecture.
before we start,
Okay.
Maya and I have matching nails, and it's awesome.
Oh, we so do. They're purple.
Yeah, we'll post them.
It's
I got.
giving like Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm sorry.
Really? I
It's
love
not.
her.
I don't.
I have a poster of her up in my room, bruh.
That's why I thought you like.
Why don't
both
you like
loved
her?
I've never really liked her since like the whole like driver's license
Bro, she was
debacle.
in the right for that.
I agree. I don't really like Sabrina because of that.
No,
whole
he
ordeal.
cheated on her with Sabrina.
Okay, but they were never really dating.
Yes, they were.
No, they
Kinda
were.
They were-
yeah.
They were dating.
See,
They were
I
in
was always told
love.
they were never really dating.
No, they
I'm
were.
Googling
And
it.
like he was like she was a minor and he was not, and he was like, well, I don't really want to get in trouble.
No. Anyway, so he was dating Sabrina. They broke up, but he like still liked her apparently, and then he was dating Olivia while they were doing High School Musical, the series.
Okay.
And then they broke up, and he like immediately was like he was immediately seen getting back together basically with Sabrina. And so then she made that basically, and there's all this stuff, and then Sabrina made a song that was like LOL or something apparently. And then he came out as bi in order to take all of the blame off of him basically.
What?
Yeah, because he was like, I'm bi now. And then everyone's like, we welcome you into the community and we forget that you were mean to Olivia.
Okay, but like, what does that have to do with
They
anything?
did, like, actually never publicly like confirm anything, but at the same time, why release like an entire album about how upset you are over a guy you never actually dated, you know, type thing?
Yeah.
I
Also, like,
mean,
if they were in a deep enough relationship that they were like doing stuff to the point that she did write an album, like,
Kind of feel bad for Queen.
I don't know. But also, like, her music also isn't really my taste, personally.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
valid.
And it was also during COVID when, like, she was all over TikTok and her music, it just got really annoying. And so I think part of it was, like, her music really annoyed me. So I just, like, started not liking her.
talked about.
No,
Have you listened to her second album? Because I like the extended version.
Okay, see, and then I didn't like her so much because of Driver's License that I'm just like, I don't
don't
want to
give her
listen to her
another
music.
chance.
I
That's
don't.
fine. I get her music probably isn't. You're like, do you like Louis Capaldi at all?
It depends on the day.
Okay, 'cause I love Louis Capaldi. I'm actually so upset he's going on tour and he's not coming
Boo.
anywhere near me, and I would be out of the country. LOL. Yeah. Anyway, some of her sad music is kind of like Louis Capaldi.
Okay.
It's good for like a rainy night drive.
Fair enough. No, when I saw the nails, I'm like, they remind me of the new Glinda dress from Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
The purple dress.
I could see that.
See, I've never
Which-
seen Wicked.
It's also kind of like the exact same color as the new Awala drops, the Wicked Awala drops. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's like literally the shiny enamel that is on the Wicked Awalas.
the Glinda one.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
felt
no,
like the Glinda one was more like the shiny was more like pearlescent than this.
No, I think it's, I don't know. I ordered them for one of my friends, and they look pretty much exactly like that.
No, when the new movie comes out, I want to do like a green hand and a purple hand.
Oh.
Because I have green sparkly and I have purple sparkly.
That'll be so cute.
If you want to help with that, Maya.
Yeah, I painted her
Yeah,
nails.
Maya painted my nails.
I need
Because
to
she was
get
like,
mine.
I don't want to paint them.
I'm on my nail growth journey, guys.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
You know what else has like long fingernails?
Vampires?
Body.
Oh, a body does too.
Vampires too.
Vampires.
But actually, so I believed in the like myth about them. So I did think that like your fingernails grew because I thought it was like your body like expelling the leftover.
I agree.
But that's what I thought. But it's just your skin receding. And I
Liter-
think
we
argued
literally
about
had this conversation like a week ago.
on God. Like I was genuinely like, no, bruh. Like they grow.
And I was
'Cause
like, no,
I-
the skin just recedes.
I always thought it was your like dead cells like leaving.
Yeah.
And they had to like go
Like,
through
it just, like-
something, so like hair or like nails.
Yeah, like that makes sense to me that it would grow. Like that big. I don't know. You know what I mean? But like it also makes sense because like your skin's losing moisture or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, technically, you can also deliver a baby once you've died.
Yeah.
We did learn
We
that,
learned that.
which is,
It's like the pressure buildup.
yeah, it just
That's insane.
expels. But I
Yeah.
think people also like defecate when they
Yep.
die.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or other stuff.
Or other stuff.
Yeah. Which that's why I was like my dad told me that once, and I was like, I'd actually be so embarrassed to die and then like poop myself.
Even when you pass out, like sometimes you can just like
that's like
lose.
genuinely my biggest fear. You laugh, it's not funny.
Okay, but
Sorry,
like
girl.
that would also happen. That can also happen in childbirth.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this last night.
Yeah,
too.
you use
We
the
were?
exact same muscles.
I was talking with Katie. I don't know if you
Oh,
were not listening.
I probably wasn't.
I'll tell you later.
You use the same muscles.
You use the same muscles during childbirth that you do when you're like taking
I mean, that makes
Ooh.
sense because it's like
that's
you're
what you're you're
pushing
pretty
it
much,
out.
An interesting
Yeah.
topic to be on.
Sorry.
No, I just think it's funny.
But yeah, that's why you do it during childbirth, and while you like when you die, your muscles like loosen and it
Mhm.
excretes anything that's in your body.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
bodies are weird, y'all.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for real.
Ultimate laxative. I shouldn't say that. Maybe, but I did.
Cleans out the colon well.
Mhm.
Colon cleanse.
Mm-mm. Okay, should we get into the lecture?
Yes.
All right. So this was a lecture on the misunderstandings of the corpse, and is what it was titled. And it's basically how people misunderstood how people like bodies decomposed and how that related to like lore and mythology, and then into vampires.
The other thing that it also was people were also trying to find like an outlet for their grief, because a lot of the deaths during this time was like premature. So yeah, the whole emotions, feelings thing, that's my shtick, which I found really interesting. That was also part of the original lore was, they're dealing with their grief, so they created these monsters.
Yeah, because before science, people just had belief more so. So they'd make up stuff like that, especially because a lot of the undead craze is centered around periods of like mass sickness, like plagues. And so it was like mass amounts of people dying, and an answer to that is people rising from the dead and killing them.
I know.
As I mentioned before, we're talking a bit about folklore stuff, and it's the supernatural. And what the professor said, the undead were called a revenant, I believe, which is a reanimated corpse that has been brought back by its own vengeful spirit to do something. That's the definition of the undead. And then he gave lots of really cool examples of one like that type of creature in different cultures across the world. Cassidy, I know you really like that. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, there's just like a lot of I don't know, I feel like most of the little creatures were just like, this woman goes out into the night, and if you're in a forest alone, she's gonna like kill you. Like that was mainly what they were about, if I'm being honest. But super interesting. I did have a lot of questions left about those. I feel like if he was gonna speak again, he should definitely just like speak about all of those, if I'm being so honest, because there was like 15 of them that he went into detail about.
Because he did North America, Asia, and Africa, and then Europe.
And then Europe.
Yeah.
Which Europe is where he focused the most on.
But it was mostly like the Scandinavia, Romania,
Polish, like that type.
Yeah. Because that's where like the vampire craze
especially with like Bram Stoker's.
Yeah. Kind of along with the creatures, I also found it interesting that there were quite a few that were like they went after pregnant women, which like would explain miscarriages. So again, going back to we don't really understand science, but we're trying to explain our grief.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
My favorite one was the one where it was, what was it? It was like it's the spirit of a woman on like one leg who chases like
unfaithful men.
Yes. And we were all like, clock it.
Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, that one reminded me of, I don't know if this is the actual title of the Sherlock Holmes book, but the 5 Orange Pips.
Yes.
Where like she kills herself and then kills the husband and like comes back as a ghost, and then like Sherlock and Watson are like trying to figure out what is going on. Ghosts aren't real, but how is she coming back? And come to find out, like, she faked her death and then came back, killed her husband, and then committed suicide. Yeah. And then all of the vengeful wives were like, okay, cool, let's repeat that, play with some mirrors, freak out our cheating ex-husbands.
I think the most like, I don't know, I wouldn't say interesting, but like the one that I was like the most surprised of was the Australian one, the red frog or like lizard thing.
Yes,
that thing was absolutely wild. So many questions. It's this frog that sucks the blood out of the like victim, and then that blood or like the matter that's left behind is what becomes another red frog.
So what he does, he regurgitates
so he
it.
eats it, then he regurgitates it,
eats it again, regurgitates it until it turns into another frog.
Red frog.
Yeah. And that's how they like reproduce.
That one I was so confused on. I was like, what?
I was like,
we're just throwing that one in?
I'm like, who can like I want to know more about the
because
lore of
there's
that
a lot
one.
of poison dart frogs in Australia, and so I bet they were just like, oh, these wild frogs, they probably killed a bunch of people, or like, you know, poisonous frogs, they kill people, let's make it a spirit type of thing, I would assume.
But also, because you mentioned that the center of this was on like the Slavic, Balkan, like European stuff. So the original vampire was named Upyr.
Oh yeah.
UPYR, wrote it down, and that's like the basis for a lot of it, of like the like in the night bites you stuff, which the in the night is actually because they were like, we don't see the undead walking around during the day, they must be walking around during the night. So I'm just like, girl,
Only plausible explanation.
right?
The other thing with like I think at least when I think of zombies, I think of the arm coming out of the ground where it's like,
Yeah.
That came from like bodies being buried in like shallow graves
And improperly.
because like now they're in like caskets, like they're in like
Like the embalming process.
yeah, but
they
there were
have none of that.
so
Like,
many deaths.
They'd shove them in the
They
dirt.
would just shove them in the dirt, and then like a wild dog would come around and like just take the arm off, and then it'd just be laying there, and people would come across the body and be like, oh, it tried to bury itself out, but then it couldn't get its arm back. Whoops.
Can we talk a bit about some of the reasons
Go for
behind
it.
it? Okay. So to start with, we're going to go with one that isn't real, which is called miasma. I think?
Miasma? Oh my gosh.
Which
yes.
is basically that like, so remind us, this is before they actually had real science stuff.
As you
So
should.
how do you say it, Sophia?
miasma.
Miasma. And it's, from what I understood, it's that you can get sick from like smells, and it's like a thing in the air. It's like, like if you see like black smoke, it's like that, but you can't see it, and people would get sick from it, and that would come out of dead bodies that smelled bad because they're decomposing, and so they're gonna get you sick. And so a lot of people thought that diseases just came from dead people, like consumption.
So, okay. I took a Black Death course last semester, and we talked a lot about miasma. 10 out of 10 would recommend that class. It was so fun. Because during that time, and during this time as well, because a lot of it was during Black Death, miasma was a thing. And I can't remember. No, that's the Four Humors. So miasma and the Four Humors kind of go along together. So miasma is like the bad smells. So like anything that smells like putrid, like rotting, but also like feces. And so like your traditional bad smells, which is also kind of where the flower tradition at funerals came from, because you would mask the smell of decaying with the flowers, and like good smells cancel out bad smells. With the Four Humors, that's like earth, air, wind, and fire, but that resulted into blood, mucus.
Pus?
What was that?
Tears?
There was like 4 things. Spirit, I think, was one of them. But like if it's out of balance, that means you're sick. So that's why you're like bloodletting.
the
get what you're
colors
talking
thing.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
the green,
yes.
and it would be like bad or something, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was so confused for a second. But I was like, it clicks now.
It's called the Four Humors.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, like the miasma. That's also like why the like plague doctors would have the giant beaks, because it would
Shove
be
the
like
beak
with
full of herb.
good smelling stuff. Which, like, other random thing from my Black Death class, there was this guy who, in the book that we were reading, and I can't remember if this was like actually something that happened or if it was a dramatization, but this guy literally would have like all of like the toilet stuff collected, and he would just stick his head in there and smell it,
Bruh.
and that would protect him from the plague.
That was something they actually thought. Like,
Yeah.
they saved like feces and things.
Yeah, because they're
they
like,
thought it was
if-
in like a.
If the bad smell of that, I get protected, and like the more I like do that, and the entire time we were like, oh my god,
Disgusting.
No. couldn't do it.
Yeah. Like romanticize the past all you want, but like
I'm
glad
not
I can
sticking my head in a
shower
toilet.
and I can get vaccinated.
Yeah. I'm not sticking my head in,
Yeah.
in the toilet.
Yeah. So that's one of the little things. But along with that, so that's really good background. We can look to like 1400s plague, kind of like where it started. Like people started mass like dying and being buried, and they were like, "Why is this happening? Why is this continuing?" We blame something supernatural. And then I wrote down a few of them. So there was the Justinian in 541 to 549, which is probably measles. Black Death, 1346 to 1353.
Yersinia pestis.
Huh?
Yersinia pestis. That's the flea.
Ah, yeah.
That's the bacteria.
The flea bites the rat, and the rat dies.
So then the
And
flea bites the human, and then
the
human dies.
The Great Plague, 1629 to 66. The New England vampire panic, which I was talking about earlier, is around in the 1790s, which is tuberculosis. I think the professor was like, it's probably tuberculosis. It was tuberculosis.
He also tried to blame it on rabies, too.
Rabies is a part of it.
And we'll get to that, and I'm like really excited.
And
like
then,
buzzing out of my seat here.
yeah. And then, because rabies was identified in 1903, so like the vampire panic again in the 1700s, so they didn't actually know what rabies was. And then there's the Third Plague, which was in China, not Europe, in 1855.
And that one, I believe, was smallpox.
Probably, yeah.
I had some classmates talking about that one in my Black Death class. And then the Great Plague was also Yersinia pestis, so the Black Death, or what most people will know it as the bubonic plague. But there's also like 3 different versions of Yersinia pestis. There's the bubonic plague, where you get like the buboes and the pus and all of that. The pneumonic plague, where like you can breathe it in and it gets in your lungs, and that's like automatic death sentence. And then there's a third one, which I can't remember what that one is called.
Your mom.
Because isn't the first one, that one's the one that affects your like lymph nodes, or do all of them affect the lymph nodes?
Technically all of them do, but with that one you're more likely to get like the buboes,
right? Okay.
That one's also the one that most people survive from.
Okay.
Because it takes the longest to like kill.
Okay.
So you have, I guess, more time to get better.
Oh.
Whereas with like the pneumonic plague and the other one, it's within a few days. So just hits and then you're dead.
Yeah, because that's
and
your
you
lungs.
don't. Yeah, and you don't really have time to react and be like, oh, something's wrong. Let's do something about that.
You blink your eyes and you're
dead. Other interesting thing about the Black Plague and like the bubonic plague and Yersinia pestis, you need to be really careful, like still to this day, because like in Colorado, the not the meerkats, the prairie dogs carried those fleas, and you can get the Black Death. You can get the bubonic plague, which is like crazy to think that like this like huge mass destructor is still along today, but we just don't hear about it because we have
like I saw a TikTok of this girl who was like, guys, my boyfriend just got the scarlet fever, literally, what do I do?
Like, why is that still around?
Yeah, because it just never went
Like,
away.
what?
yeah we just
have
things to protect against it.
another one that's not a plague, but it's, I think you say porphyria.
Oh, yeah.
Porphyria. That type, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's a genetic like blood disorder, which if you know me, you know I like those.
Habsburgs.
Anyway.
And the Romanovs.
So, shout out to Alexei Romanov. I miss you every day. Come back. Come back as the Undead, please, and visit me. Just kidding. So anyway, they actually had an aversion to garlic, which is like, whoa.
And sunlight. Like, they would blister up.
Yes, they had light sensitivity, aversion to garlic, and, like, their teeth would fall out and stuff like that. They were incredibly pale, sunken eyes, which also is similar to how tuberculosis patients look. And tuberculosis is just a whole thing. Like, there would be tuberculosis hospitals where they'd keep people outside because they thought it made them better, and it didn't because it's an airborne disease. So I'm like, guys, what are we doing? Anyway, sorry. This isn't a tuberculosis episode. So, like, that's kind of where we get the idea of a pale, sickly creature. We're getting more humanoid here. But yeah, the blood sucking is also because, like, if they were like, oh my god, someone is undead, they'd bring them up and they'd press down on their stomach, the body, and then they'd like spit up blood because like their body's decomposing, and so they're like, can't be theirs, it's someone else's. They ate them.
Yeah. I think we did briefly touch on this, but we didn't really go in depth. But also, like, the rabies theory.
Mm-hmm.
People with rabies are, like, scared of water, which also brings up, like, the holy water thing. Like, if someone had rabies and you went, water, they would probably be like, no, thank you.
And then Along with that, the silver and mirror thing. So back in the day, mirrors were backed with silver, and people were like, "Oh, they can't see the reflection." But the professor said was this low-key probably just because they thought they looked really ugly because they were diseased.
Was like if they had the rabies, like looking in a mirror is stimulation.
Yeah, it's
and
like too stimulating.
when you have rabies, you do not like stimuli, and so looking in a mirror can, cause that.
Yeah, like make you go crazy.
Yeah, and rabies also had the sunlight thing.
Yeah,
Not as severe as the porphyria. With the blisters.
Like another thing about the rabies that they like really were worried about was like the mouth thing. Like when you have rabies, like your teeth or like your lips pull back from your lip or like your mouth, and so it looks like you have like these gigantuous like teeth, you know, and so they're like, oh, vampire.
So this is gonna have to be a two-parter, folks. We have a lot more content than we thought we did, so join us for part 2.
Yay!
Thanks for listening. Stay curious. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, all sources will be listed in the show notes below.
Be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on our upcoming discussions. Join us next week as we delve into the intriguing depths of our grim past.
Stay curious, there's so much more to uncover.